Bitcoin just opened its most important weekly candle that we've seen in months. And in this video, I'm going to break down for you why that is. I'm also going to break down for you why math is going to play a huge role in what happens to Bitcoin this week. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe, hit that like on the way in. Thank you for 90,000 subscribers. We're almost there to 100. I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. Let's jump into this Bitcoin video. So real quick, I've been talking a lot about this swing high to swing low. And I'm not going to talk a lot about it in this exact video, but I just want to chart it so we have context to what I'm about to say. And this is a really important video. This resistance area, leading into it, I was very skeptical Bitcoin would break above. Many of you know that if you saw a video I did in January 30th. We broke above, and the reason I wanted to break above is simple. Why we use Fibonacci resistance is we want to see a break above, separation, and then support. And right now, we're seeing support. But there is so much other stuff going on in this chart, and I want to really break it down for you. So let's leave that there and follow me here. I want to show you a clip from 2018 at the bottom of the bear market. I do think that there is way more solid support. There's way more solid evidence that this is the bottom than when we were at $6,000. And so that's the bottom of the bear market, almost literally. That was December 18th, 2018. I'm not doing that. I'm not showing this to just pat myself on the back. This is because I was using a Fibonacci macro support area, the 786, a very volatile area in terms of Fibonacci. And there's a lot of you that didn't see a video I did a while ago talking about Fibonacci. The Fibonacci sequence has always attracted the attention of people since, as well as having special mathematical properties. Other numbers so ubiquitous as those of Fibonacci do not exist anywhere else in mathematics. They appear in geometry, algebra, number theory, many other fields of mathematics, and even in nature. Leonardo Pisano, called Fibonacci, is the dude that came up with the Fibonacci sequence. Observing the geometry of plants, flowers, or fruit, it is easy to recognize the presence of recurrent structures and forms. So this is an illustration that you see this. The repetition, the repetition and the presence of recurrent structures, in creation. We look around. I mean, here are leaves and trees, cherry trees, pear trees, and the same is true in music, and the same is true in so many different things that we experience every day in life, and the same is true on the Bitcoin charts. And a lot is to be said of the application of Fibonacci, the application of this sequence and mathematics, and truly the subconscious of you and I. And it really, to put it very simply, is we as humans look for harmony. We look for synergy and just an even symmetrical flow, whether it be, when we look around, whether it be when we create something, or whether it be if we're investing into something. And on Bitcoin, we see a very even flow. That is why Fibonacci sequence and Fibonacci in general is used so much on this YouTube channel. It has been so reliable. It's been ridiculous. And the reason I played that clip is because it was reliable in determining a huge, huge accumulation area, namely the bottom of the bear market. And we use Fibonacci for that. Now, the golden ratio, if you're a technical analyst, like what we're doing here on this channel, Fibonacci is probably your good friend. In all three applications, the golden ratio is expressed in three percentages: 38.2, 50, and 61.8. Many of you are familiar with 618. I use it a lot. What I want to say is we take these rules and we also use the 786. The 786 is kind of like the 618, and we can really go look at this. The 618 is right here. The 786 is right here. And we use the 786 on this YouTube channel because Bitcoin is so volatile. So oftentimes we get these capitulation environments where Bitcoin, we want to see what it does with the 786, and that's kind of what it was doing at the bottom of the bear market when I charted this chart. That has proved I did this chart and I charted it right here at the bottom of the bear market based on this yellow line right here, a macro 786. So it's been very reliable. So much so, in the last video in September 12th where I talked about Fibonacci, this was a breakdown. I'm going to put a link in the description. You should check it out. I was doing this video September 12th. Look at this real quick. This is like the mini bull market doors. If Bitcoin's going to make it to the main bull market doors, Bitcoin has to break this entire Fibonacci channel. It's very simple. Swing high last summer. So at that time, we were using a Fibonacci, and it was right here on the charts, right here. There are the bull market doors that we just talk about all the time on this YouTube channel, $13,000 to $16,000. It's a macro Fibonacci. This is when I did that video, and Bitcoin entered the bull market shortly thereafter. I'm not doing this. I'm not showing you this to pat myself on the back, say I was right. It's nothing. All I'm doing is using a tool. I'm charting it. I'm sharing the data with you. Like, this isn't me being just amazing at guessing or predicting what Bitcoin's going to do. This is me just charting, but I'm doing this. I'm showing this to show you why it's so reliable. And it took me around a few minutes to play all that out to say this. Now, here we are on the macro, and we're in a very, very important move right here on the weekly chart as we are literally putting in a new candle. Now, this chart is a day old, so the new weekly candle is not on here, but we're going to break down this area in the last bull market and this area in this current bull market. Let's zoom in. This is the last bull market. This is what the weekly was doing on the macro Fibonacci, entering the bull market through the bull market doors, coming back down, testing the 1618. I just talked about this in yesterday's video. This move right here is what we're looking for and waiting for, and so much of it has to do with Fibonacci on the short term. So let's continue breaking this down. Here's Bitcoin now on the weekly. We have Bitcoin entering the bull market through the bull market doors, coming up, testing the 1618, and here we are right now as I do this video. So crucial what we're about to break down. I'm going to break down the last bull market move, this bull market move, which on the weekly, I mean, just look at the chart, looks so similar. And I'm going to break it down on the 6 hour. So now I'm zoomed in on this macro weekly chart from 2017. You see here, I'm zoomed in here on the 6 hour. So here's 2017 move. Here is the current move. And let me get rid of this so we can see clearly. So the current move on the 6 hour, 2017. So similar. I've charted this before. And now let's break down what happened then and what we're looking for now. And it is truly has everything to do with the Fibonacci resistance. So we have this swing high, ultimate swing high. It was an all-time high, right under $3,000 for Bitcoin, to a swing low down to this 1618 area on the macro Fibonacci. That's what this gray box is. It's a macro Fibonacci 1618 line. Bitcoin testing it for support. So that's a short-term Fibonacci back then, and what Bitcoin did was made a run, made a bounce for it, and tested it, tested it, boom. So not only did it break through, solve support, and continue to the upside. Now if we go to Bitcoin and we chart the same exact Fibonacci, which is all-time high, 42,000, down to this 1618 area of support, and there's definitely support there. That was a 1618 bounce on the macro. And you can just see it. This is a 6 hour chart. So right now, Bitcoin making almost an identical move. Let me zoom in here. As back then, after that 1618 bounce. So bounce, and then we go now, and we got the same exact type of move. So a bounce. And here we are testing this exact Fibonacci resistance now for supports. And Bitcoin did the same thing right then. And the charts are ridiculous. So we know how it transpired back then. In this 6 hour chart. The question is now, how does it transpire now? And what we want, and we're in it right now. We're literally right there at the 786 line right now as I do this video, basically. What is Bitcoin going to do in here? Are we going to get what we want, ultimate separation from that area? Or is Bitcoin going to fail, come down, see resistance ultimately, continue to the downside? That is exactly what we're watching for, and we're in it right now. And I say this a lot. I love when the macro charts and the micro charts just come together so perfectly in these most critical times, and that's what's happening right now. And we know that this formation, which is this channel here, the resistance channel, is so it's so reliable. And the reason I just showed you a couple quick clips on a macro level, how they were reliable for us in determining the bottom of the bear market and in determining Bitcoin getting ready to break through the bull market doors. Those are macro Fibonacci's. It's such a valuable tool. I say Fibonacci like a million times in every video because I use the tool so often. But here we are right now testing that area. Now, if we go over here to the daily chart, this is what we're looking at. And in terms of any support that is below, if Bitcoin just doesn't hold above this area, the biggest area that I'm watching for right now for support is, because we did break out of the symmetrical triangle, is pretty much the apex area of the symmetrical triangle. And you can see right here, confluent with that is the 50-day moving average. And then if we chart a Fibonacci from swing low to our most previous swing high, we have a Fibonacci there as well. So there's a ton of support down here in this like $32,000 area if Bitcoin just doesn't manage to stay and break above. But really what I'm watching for is I would think it would be awesome, because the move so far, this move on this 6-hour chart from 2017 so far, even just testing this long-term 1618 line all the way down here, this area, it looks so on point and similar to the move that we're getting right now. I truly want to see if Bitcoin can do what it did last time, which is, it grappled with this area that you see, this green channel, but ultimately broke away. I just want to see if Bitcoin can do something similar, and this week will be so big for that. There's so much more we could break down on these charts, especially if we zoom in on the hourly. But ultimately, this truly is the area to watch right now. $39,200 down to around $37,000. What does Bitcoin do? If you're watching a 6-hour chart or something, and Bitcoin kind of comes back up, you really want to watch and see how the 6-hour closes. You don't want to get too excited if we're getting a breakout, because it can very much come back in. Similar to the downside, getting a breakout to the downside could very well come back in. So you want to see ultimately consistent candles closing on the upside or the downside to truly get a true confirmation. And you can even see Bitcoin at one point was testing just a breakout to the downside, but you saw some buying pressure, brought it right back in, and then Bitcoin blasted off, continued to the bull market, into the bull market high, 20,000. So is the same thing going to happen here? This week is so important, everybody. I can't stress it enough. Want to do a quick video for you, update as we go into this week. I hope you have an awesome start to your week. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.